Hello and welcome to the End Step. Maria Bartholdi, joined by Paul Cheon and Rich Hagan here at the news desk. And we've got to do something before we do anything else, and that is talk about card of the day. Paul, what have you selected?
The card of the day is a land. It's a land, you know, not a dual land. Just taps for 1 mana, but it's definitely the card that kind of has, I think, put the mono red deck kind of over the top. That card is Ramunap Ruins. This card, you know, it doesn't seem all that impressive when you first look at it. It just taps for red mana, but the fact that you can combine Ramunap Ruins, play 4 copies of Sunscorched Desert, gives the red deck just so much reach. The combination of that, along with Hazoret, there's just so many ways to kind of finish off the opponent. And, you know, as long as this card is legal and standard, I really don't want to play a control deck because there's not a whole lot you can do to interact with this.
Thanks, Paul. Brian David Marshall, we're moving from card of the day to the team of the day. So let's see who he's chosen as the team to watch here at Pro Tour Hour of Devastation.
Thanks, Maria. The team that I've picked is Team Genesis. You know, they came in, Musashi, 25-point lead on them. Genesis, though, was in second place and really just needs to hold serve. And really thanks in large part to the effort of Seth Manfield going 8-0 here on day one. They're in great shape to get him into the top 8, rack up the points they need to hold onto that second spot and get to play against Musashi at the World Championship in Boston. So Team Genesis, my pick right now for Team of the Day, but largely on the back of one particular player.
Thanks so much, BDM. Well, we've got Team of the Day under our belts. We've got Card of the Day. What about the Match of the Day? Tim and Riley are standing by in the feature match area to tell us what they thought.
Thanks for that, Rich. Well, the feature match area, pretty quiet now, but we've had a lot of action in it over this first day here at Pro Tour Hour of Devastation. If you had to pick one match for you for Match of the Day, Riley, which one would you go for?
Clear standout. Clear standout for me. We started to stand it, and I was very, very excited, getting those chills when I'm seeing the deck lists that are coming out. And I'll tell you what, I'm watching Reed the Ringmaker Duke, and he's ready to chuck some punches about. And I'll tell you what, he's doing it in a major way. Looks like Team Energy to begin with, right? But we're seeing Blossoming Marsh, we're seeing Oath of Nissa, we're seeing some funny business going on, right? Anyway, he's curved tops out at Nicole Bolas, right? So this is huge. You know, marquee mythic of the set. Very excited to see it. And the thing that made this game and this match so special for me is that it completely dominated the game, while Huey Jensen, his opponent, is sitting at 8 life. So obviously, if 1 life less, Nicole Bolas comes down and ends it straight away. But instead of doing that, instead of ripping his head off, basically what he does, he comes down and rips Huey's arms off and beats him to death with his own arms, because Nicole Bolas, he's continuing to just rip cards off the top of Jensen's library, and Duke essentially jukes it out with Jensen's own cards. And it's insane because the domination that this Planeswalker had on the game, you know, coming in nice and early as well, as we began to explore standard. It was just such an emphatic beginning to this standard format for me, and I was so excited to see it. And Duke, I mean, you know, tight as ever, and he's done really well for himself with this deck. But I'm hoping to see more of Nicole Bolas at the top end. Really, the match of the day for me, Duke slugging it out with Jensen. I mean, the names don't get much bigger than that today.
Yeah, I mean, we've had big names in the feature match area pretty much from round 1, and actually my match of the day came in round 1. Right at the very start, we kicked things off just in fantastic fashion. We had already covered the draft, the feature draft table. We got a chance to see Mike Sigrist drafting a very, very powerful red-green deck with Samut, both the Planeswalker and the legendary version, both in the same deck. Very potent deck that he was running there. But actually, the story of the match was really about both players and sides and some fantastic play, because while Black-White, normally very much known as an aggressive sort of zombies build, Bram Snetvangers, he went a different direction. He was full-on control. Hour of Revelation, the key sweeper for him. And as it was his very first pick of the draft, in principle, no one should have known that he had it. There should have been no way that Mike Sigrist would have been able to play around what would be a dominating board sweeper. We saw Snetvangers playing things out very, very carefully, putting out blockers, not giving any indication in terms of what was coming next. Sigrist, he had a fantastic board state. He had so many creatures going on, and he had mouth to feed such that he could potentially draw a whole ton of cards and put himself in game-winning position. For almost every player, I think that the play there is, as soon as you get an opportunity to cast at least the first half of Mouth to Feed, you get that hippo on the board, and then you say, next turn, I'm fine with drawing lots of cards.
That's it.
Sigrist did not do that. He was very, very smart. He went, I was sat next to Bram Snetvangers in the draft. I realized that he'd taken a rare as his very first pick of the draft. the way that things were going out, there weren't too many things that I could lose to. One of them would be a big board sweeper. And so basically he said, I'm not going to cast Mouth Defeat as soon as I can. I'm going to wait on it. I'm going to wait until I have enough to be able to cast both sides of it in one go. And that meant that there was never a point that he was fully overextended into that.
He had the absolute soul read on him. I'm standing right behind this guy as he's there going like holding on, sandbagging these cards. And you can just see the Hall of Famer is sat there going, I need more value. And he got too greedy and he was punished for it.
Yeah, somehow or other, in spite of the fact that, of course, Bram Snetvangers did have to pull the trigger on the Hour of Revelation at the end of the game. By the time that he did it,
Too late.
we already had Sigrid drawing 6 extra cards, and that was enough to mean that even after the big sweeper, he was able to take the game and ultimately the match. So that, for me, the match of the day, but plenty of fantastic Magic in our feature match area. Very much looking forward to seeing a whole lot more of it tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Tim and Riley. Those were amazing matches. Well, what does it feel like to be undefeated in the first day of a pro tour? We're about to find out with Brian David Marshall.
I have no idea how it feels, but fortunately Seth Manfield's here to pick up the slack and tell me about it. 8-0. Let's walk through your day. You start off with a draft, and when I think of a Seth Manfield draft deck, I think no rares.
Oh yeah, I think I had the best deck at the table, to be honest. But it was mostly commons, honestly. Maybe an uncommon, grizzly bear sprinkled in there. But yeah.
Tell us about where you were going into the third pack, because you faced a really interesting decision.
Oh yeah, I was basically, no one seemed to want to draft green. I mean, it is one of the weaker colors, but it was just coming to me. So I was basically mono green with a little bit of red for removal. And I thought I was going to be green-red. I was just like, you know what? I need to be green-red if I'm going to just have enough playables. And then pack 3, I open a black rare, Archfiend of Ifnir, and I had like a couple of black cards, but there was a Thresher Lizard. It worked with my curve. You know what? I'm going to beat people down. I don't want to be splashing for, even though it's one of the most insane rares, I took the Lizard, shipped the rare, and hoped not to have to deal with it.
And it worked out, obviously, because you went into Standard Undefeated where your weapon of choice was mono red. How good does mono red need to be for a team like Genesis to say this is what we're going to play at the Pro Tour?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I was playing mono red because I love aggressive decks. Like Burn is right up my alley. So I was playing mono red for a while, and the Brad Nelsons and Lucas Blahones of the team, they were running up everything against me. I was just beating them down, and they hate mono red. Like they did not want to play mono red. And at the 11th hour, everyone just switched. Like everyone just started realizing that it was just what we believed. Our testing led to. Came to the conclusion it's just the best deck in the format. So
now you come to that conclusion. You have to assume other people are coming to that conclusion.
Yeah.
You're going to have a plan. You don't have to give me any, but I assume you're ready for the mirror going into tomorrow.
I mean, we did what we could.
So now Team Genesis, comes in with a pretty commanding, a narrow lead in second, but against you have a lot of teams chasing you down. What did you guys think you needed? I know you had said, I could probably contribute something to the team this time out.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really done the math in terms, because we don't know what other teams are doing. We figured we needed decent results, maybe some X5s, some X6s, just to kind of hold everyone at bay, assuming that no other team really jumps out. Unfortunately, most of my teammates, I'm really picking up the slack right now for them, so I'm hoping they'll have a better day and they aren't relying on me so much, but I've dealt with the pressure before, so.
One top 8 finish can make a huge swing in this team series race. So if it's just you, it'll be just you. And
I'm still eight more rounds to go tomorrow, so.
Okay,
we'll see.
8 more rounds to go. We're going to let him get his beauty sleep, and we'll be back with more Seth Manfield and Team Genesis tomorrow.
Picking up the slack. That's what I call a dagger of the worthy. My word. All right, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Seth Manfield is, of course, on top of it, along with Palavida Domoderosa. They are your two 8-0 players. The 7-1s include Yusuke Sasabe, Shota Takao, Shintaro Karada, Louis Bachot, then Donald Smith, Sam Black, Eric Severson, Adam Jansen, Calcano, Pardy, Yan Wing Chun, Elias Watsfeld, and Thiago Saporito. 15 players within one game bottom of the lead. But tomorrow, because this is the way Swiss pairings work, you will see Seth Manfield face Paula Vita Dama da Rosa of Brazil for the last undefeated record in the room. Paul, Maria, can I interest you in turning up for that?
Oh yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah, I'm a little excited.
A little excited, just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
All right, well, we are so excited to be bringing you the best Magic players in the world. Manfield against PVDDR starts our day 2 coverage, of course. We're back at 9 a.m. local time here in Japan. Thanks to all of you for being with us. However many matchsticks you've got under your eyes to be watching us live, we appreciate it. And we will see you again for day 2 on behalf of everyone here on the team. Rich, Maria, Paul, and all the boys and girls who bring you the best game in the world. We'll see you tomorrow.